Inside Corner, Hindsight 2020. As we approach another offseason of free agency, we are looking at last year's, okay? And I need your take on some of the deal. You're smiling. I need you on your best behavior. Because it's so easy for us to sit here a year later and give them grades, but we're looking at them from a team perspective, yes?
Yeah, we're looking at this. I would say a few things here. Number one, this is about team decisions. Players don't go, no, please don't give me the money.
Sure.
Right? These are decisions by the teams. The players have good or bad years after that. And I would just keep this in mind. When you sign the kind of long-term contracts we're talking about, you need instant impact. You know the back of the contracts aren't going to go great.
Okay.
And so at least 7 of the 10 guys we're going to talk about, their teams don't make the playoffs this year. It might be 8 depending on the Cubs. So there's that. And I would ask each team here on this. Of the 10, if you can amnesty the player today, just give up the contract.
But that's tough.
No, if you could but it's a year later. These teams are all going to have regret. It's a point of we're about to go into free agency, and everyone's going to get on their frenzy again and can't wait to give out these kind of contracts. Sorry, agents, I think it's a mistake.
Okay, so you want payoff in the short term. Let's start on the mound. This is difficult because if you're looking, when you're talking about best of the best when healthy, Jacob deGrom is the guy.
When healthy. Right? The 2 guys who got the most money are Jacob deGrom and Carlos Rodon. Let me give you the headline that would be in the Post. Injured pitchers get injured. Well, these guys were injury prone. deGrom had made 26 starts the 2 years before he got the $185 million. Rodon had 2 healthy seasons, hadn't been healthy before. What happened to these guys? They got hurt this year. deGrom, the same story. When he pitches, look at how good he is. He hardly ever pitches. He's hardly going to pitch next year. He had Tommy John surgery. Carlos Rodon, he was hurt for more than half the year. He hasn't pitched well. Again, and by the way, think about the cascade with Texas. Because deGrom is hurt, they go out and give up prospects for Scherzer. Who gets hurt? Yeah,
but if you're the Rangers and Jacob deGrom is out there and you need a starter, which they did, you want him. And if you're the Yankees and you need a frontline starter.
You do?
Yeah.
The Yankees somehow decided after scoring about 5 runs against the Astros while getting swept, instead of needing offense, to spend $160 million on a pitcher, who, by the way, is hurt all the time and got hurt for them.
Remember what I said about your best behavior? What about the shortstop position? We always
I'll wait for the phone call from the Rangers and Yankees. Don't call Lauren, call me.
We threw up graphics of Correa, of Bogarts, of Turner, of Dansby Swanson, and said, pick your guy. In terms of contracts, now, what's your take?
Well, again, of this group, Turner's team's going to make the playoffs in part because Turner, who had a very poor first half, over the last 6 weeks has been one of the best players in the sport. Dansby Swanson, I would give him, he is exactly who we thought he was. They bought him to be sound on defense with some power, average offensively, good leader. Perfect. That's as close to an A minus as you're going to get. Do you know Carlos Correa has grounded into 5 more double plays than anyone else in baseball this year? He has 30 grounded into double play, 19 homers. He's hurt with his foot. Who knows about his availability? Remember, you're paying for this year. Bogarts had a very good beginning to his season. He's having a very good end in the middle when the Padres collapsed. And again, think about all those Padre contracts. They were going after the Dodgers. This is the year the Dodgers were going to be vulnerable. They took their payroll down.
But in recent memory, nobody's been better in the postseason when the light shine the brightest than Carlos Correa.
Yeah, well, he probably isn't going to play in the playoffs this year. He's going to have to play injured.
What about New York guys? Aaron Judge, Brandon Nimmo. Aaron Judge hit his toe. That's why he missed time.
Right. So should we forget about that? Lawrence decided to eliminate the 8 weeks that Aaron Judge missed when the Yankees completely tanked and are going to finish under 500 and not make the playoffs and all that.
When they signed him at the winter meetings, it was the biggest news in the sport, and it was a big deal.
It's always, every one of these guys made big news. It's big news. Everyone has joy that day. And again, I would ask on all 10 contracts we're going to do, we put all the executives on Truth Serum and said, you could simply get out of the contracts today. Now, by the way, let's be fair. Brandon Nimmo, I would give that an A. He's figured out durability for the 2nd year in a row. He has a career high in homers. He plays his butt off every day. That one, but there's 7 years left on it.
Max, how many home runs and how many games for Aaron Judge this year? Can you let me know?
Yeah, when Aaron Judge, but since he's come, so I would say this: the Yankees are going to try to alibi away this season on 2 freak injuries. Aaron Judge running his toe into the outfield at Dodger Stadium, and Anthony Rizzo's head getting hit by Fernando Tatis Jr. And then, if only those 2 guys didn't get hurt. Are we sure that post-concussion syndrome is something you get over easy? Are we sure? The Aaron Judge we've seen since he's come back hasn't been Aaron Judge. The idea that these are just going to flip over next year, I wouldn't completely buy into any
32
of that.
home runs in 98 games, Joel Sherman.
He's a great player. He didn't play for 8 weeks. The season completely fell apart.
Wilson Contreras signed a 5-year, $87.5 million contract. The Cardinals needed someone, right, post-Yachty. And if you look at that free agent crop of catchers, at the time, he was the name.
So for 20 years, they won one way, which was to prioritize defense behind home plate. And then they went a completely different way a month into the season. You want another post headline? Catcher who never was thought of as great defensively concerns the Cardinals defensively. Wilson Contreras.
Guys, help me.
Wilson Contreras had exactly the season you would expect him. Wilson Contreras had an A season compared to his history. It looks just like last year's season. He is exactly who the Cardinals should have expected him to be. But who did the Cardinals expect him to be? They turned on this guy, some of their pitchers early in the season, that he wasn't Yadi and Molina. Duh! I could have told you that before you wrote the first check.
He left Wednesday's game with left wrist discomfort. I'm done with you. You're the best. You're the best. Guys, help.
I can't wait till you sign all the guys again. We'll do this. Lauren, we'll get together a year from now on this again. The very few lessons are learned on this year to year.
Let's go,
for
Robert.
those
Bring that
major-
energy.
For those players that were watching, that was Joel Sherman. You can.
Gosh,
It wasn't the
outta
players,
here.
it's the teams.